and I want to welcome all of you. We're going to take a very, very special journey. We're going to go with Savitri to her own inner being to get to the point where we find our soul. If there's anybody here who's not familiar with what Savitri is, let me tell you, it's Sri Aurobindo's epic poem. It's over 700 pages long, and he wrote it for over 35 years. It has all of his experiences in it and all of Mother's experiences, and when he had a new realization, he would amend Savitri to put that realization in. And he used Savitri to tell all of his teachings with mystic poetry. So mystic poetry is kind of a direct shortcut to realization. And if we can open ourselves to it, we don't have to think much. Just if we can open ourselves, we always receive something. They teach that the first major step in their yoga is to find our individual soul. And they often use the word psychic being for the soul. It's from the French, from l'être psychique. And they do that because people sometimes confuse soul with the great soul. You can say soul with the capital S, the Atman, the all consciousness of the all. So often Mother will talk about the psychic consciousness, and she means the soul itself, our soul. And they teach that all the parts of our being, our physical body, our mental being, which is all our thoughts, and our feelings, which is our vital being, all these parts are open to many influences, but they're supposed to be instruments of the Spirit. And the Spirit which comes through us is going to be our immortal soul when we can finally find it. When the different parts of our being work for themselves, they produce ignorant and imperfect things, and we don't live up to our full potential. Our psychic being is the inmost part of us and the highest part of us, and it produces the right things for us and the right things for everybody around us. But in most of us, it stays behind a veil. It's the veil of our own ignorance. And it can only act in us when it finally gets a chance. So we help it out. We try to find it. We try to bring it forward. Everything in our lives and our yoga practice is easier when we've found our soul because it guides us. And if our soul isn't very developed, it doesn't have much influence on our lives. We really don't become our true person. We don't fulfill ourselves, and we don't serve well. We don't do our best for the people around us. We don't do our best even for the things that we handle. So it's good to have our soul forward. And our soul does this because it's always in contact with its own essence, which is the supreme consciousness, which is the all, the consciousness of the all. And it can become our consciousness when we can be conscious in our soul, that very small thing that's been put there for us to do that, especially for ourselves. That's enough to convince any spiritual seeker that really we've got to find our soul. But there's something else. And that something else is very wonderful. There's an entry in Mother's agenda on July the 1st of 1970 where Mother saw somebody's psychic being for the very first time. Up to that time, she never tried to find out what our soul looked like. And now the soul came to Mother. It came to show itself to Mother. One of Mother's secretaries, an American lady whom Mother had named Rajuta, and Rajuta means straight. I knew Rajuta. She was a very straight lady. She really concentrated